Now, I'm going to be the first to admit I was wrong about Endrick. I mean, the way he's playing at the moment, we might as well call him Bobby Charlton because he's moving like a man that's possessed and a man that's on a mission to prove all the haters wrong. But before we discuss all this, let's talk about the starting of his Real Madrid career and the total injustice towards this man by previous manager Xabi Alonso. Following his big money move from Palmeiras for an initial fee of £60 million to Real Madrid in December 2022, there were people dubbing him the second coming of Pele because it was evident he had loads of potential to become something special. However, I was skeptical and had my reservations because there were loads of Brazilian wonder kids who had failed miserably to fulfill their potential. I am talking about the likes of Victor Roque, who was a disappointment at FC Barcelona, and Alexandre Pato, who was a hit and miss at AC Milan and later vanished into thin air in the later stages of his career, and I am sure that there are many more I have failed to mention. The starting of his career at Real Madrid didn't come easy as he was down the pecking orders of attackers at the club, namely Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Arda Güler, and Brahim Diaz. As a result, playing time for Endrick was limited and he had to work diligently to earn his place in the Real Madrid starting lineup. On August 25, 2024, he was handed his official debut for Real Madrid by manager at the time Carlo Ancelotti, where he impressed by scoring in a 3-0 win over Real Valladolid in La Liga. During this time, fans of Real Madrid and the footballing world were on high alert because they thought Endrick had arrived and was ready to make his presence be known at Real Madrid. Sad to say, this wasn't the case and he was handed limited playing time and had to make the odd appearances off the bench as a substitute in La Liga and in Champions League games. On the outside looking in, he was seen as a young striker that needed time to develop and integrate in the Real Madrid system and had to go through the process of being a part-time bench warmer. Real Madrid's 2024-25 season was a disappointment by their high standards, losing domestically to their bitter rivals Barcelona, and was humiliated home and away in the Champions League quarter-finals by Arsenal. At the end of the season, it was announced prior that manager at the time, Carlo Ancelotti, would be leaving and the race for the new manager of Real Madrid was heating up. In the end, they chose Xabi Alonso, a former player and club legend who was seen by many as a perfect fit and knew the culture around the club. For Endrick, this was seen as a great opportunity to work with an aspiring manager known to improve and fulfill the potential of young players with whom he had worked with over the years. Unfortunately, Endrick suffered a hamstring injury in May 2025, which affected his participation in the Club World Cup and the starting of the 2025-26 season. During this time, he was in constant competition for playing time with Real Madrid's breakout star Gonzalo Garcia and had to again hold bench for the season. At times, everyone could see Endrick was starting to become a frustrated figure at Real Madrid. Also, there was a famous picture of him crying on the bench. Now, we could only imagine the injustice he experienced at the time, from being featured now and again on the previous manager to now being completely frozen out. I had to say at this time I genuinely felt for him. As the season progressed, there were rumors about the players being unhappy with the manager, which had a correlation with the poor performances on the pitch. As a result, Xabi Alonso was sacked and Alvaro Arbeloa was appointed Real Madrid's new head coach. This appointment shocked everyone at the time, but was seen as a stopgap given the circumstances. For Endrick, his future was up in the air as he was in need of desperate playing time to be ever considered in the Brazilian national team for the upcoming 2026 World Cup and his development as a player on a whole. In the January 2026 transfer window, he made a shock loan move to French giants Olympique Lyonnais. This was seen as a huge opportunity to grow and to develop in a league which caters to young and upcoming talents. On his debut for Olympique Lyonnais, he impressed, scoring in a 2-1 victory over Lille. Soon after, he provided an assist in Lyon's 2-1 win over Stade Brest. In addition, he later went on to score his first career hat-trick against Metz in Lyon's 5-2 win over them. At the time of writing, he scored another goal which propelled Lyon to the quarterfinals of the Coupe de France. If he continues with these impressive performances, then surely you must think he is in for a shout in Brazil's World Cup squad. In addition, some people might say he's playing in a farmers league. However, what I would say is that let's not forget PSG are the current holders of the Champions League and Ousmane Dembele is the 2025 Ballon d'Or winner. And let's not act like there isn't some sort of quality coming out from the French league as well. Lastly, what I'm about to say is completely outrageous for some people, but I have to say it. I have finally come to the conclusion that Xabi Alonso deserves jail time for ever letting a talent like this go to waste. Now, if you have made it to the end of this video, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.